checking the tutorials here and see how things gonna go. So I went through the basic controls, character skills. I wasn't reading too much in depth because we went through all the character skills in the player log here and what they're made of. Now dice, pretty much the game. A player's turn always begins by throwing all 6 dice. The player then uses E to select and set aside scoring dice, and at least not one die must always be set aside. Then the player can throw the remaining dice again using F, and the situation repeats. Scoring combinations are counted only after the current throw, not the entire turn. The key element of the game is that if a throw does not produce a single scoring die, then the player's turn is over and all points scored up to that throw are forfeit. It is then the opposing player's turn to throw. For that reason, it's best to end your turn using Q before the risk that not a single die will score gets too high. Sometimes it's better not to set aside all the scoring dice you have thrown, so you stand a better chance of scoring high on the next throw. Since each player uses his own dice, there is also an opportunity to cheat, but finding loaded dice isn't so easy. In any case, I have no doubts that it has a lot to do with playing with money, and money is something we don't need right now. So a single 1 is worth 100 points, a single 5 is worth 50 points, 3 of a kind is worth 100 points multiplied by the given number. For example, 3 4s are worth 400 points. There is 3 1s are worth 1000 points. 4 or more of a kind is worth double the points of 3 of a kind, so 4s are worth 800 points. 5 4s are worth 1600 points, etc. Lock picking. In order to pick locks, you must have at least one lockpick in your inventory, although it's better to have 1 or 2 spares since they get worn with use and in the worst case can break. You start the actual lockpicking process by holding E on the lock. You will then see a diagram of the lock mechanism in which you have to find the right spot to insert the lockpick. How close you are to the sweet spot is indicated by the size of the cursor, and it turns gold when you find it. Then you have to use the lockpick D to turn the whole lock mechanism. At the same time, you have to coordinate the movement of the lockpick within the rotation of the mechanism, because the rotation shifts the position of the sweet spot and you have to adjust accordingly. If you try to turn the mechanism without having the lockpick in the correct position, the mechanism will stick, which will damage the lockpick or even break it. Any damage to the lockpick will produce a noise which can draw unwanted attention, and breaking it will cause an even louder snap. Pickpocketing. Picking pockets is no joking matter. If you're caught with your fingers in someone else's purse, either by the victim or by a witness, they will raise the alarm and you will be pursued as a thief. In order to rob someone successfully, you first have to sneak up on them unnoticed, and then by holding E begin pickpocketing. Once you have got your hand inside the victim's purse, you have to grope around inside it by holding E. That's not easy, especially if your victim is on the move. The longer you grope, the better your chances of finding the most valuable items. The progress of your groping is shown by the yellow indicator. Once you decide you have searched long enough, you can choose from what you have found A and D. Each person has his own inventory, which you will gradually reveal using E, and the most valuable items are usually at the very bottom. But remember, it's not enough to grasp the loot. You have to get your hand out with it too. That is, go back to the top position. The amount of time you have for taking items was determined at the beginning by the amount of time spent searching. This is shown on the gold progress bar around the circumference of the purse. Oh wow, how interesting indeed. We'll have to practice that a lot, I guess. Quest and Journal. Throughout the game, people will often ask you to carry out various objectives that can usually be done in a number of different ways. Eloquence will help you win friends, an inconspicuous person can totally avoid trouble, and if you would rather not beat around the bush, balance can also be a solution. You can find all information about the objectives in the Quest log tab J. On the left hand side is a list of all the quests divided into separate categories. Main quests follow the basic storyline of Henry and his family. Side quests are voluntary quests that have little or no influence on the main storyline. Activities are things you can do at any time. Completed quests list the quests you have finished in some way, and here you can read how you achieve that. In the overview panel, which you can show or hide using Q, you will see the current objectives for the selected quest. You can read more information on the quest in the journal using X, which on the right hand side toggles between the map and detailed walkthrough of the quest. By pressing E, you can choose which of the non-completing quests you want to pursue. You can pursue a maximum of 3 at any time. After launching the quest, a color shield will be assigned to it, which on the map X and on the compass shows the waypoints of completing the various objectives in the quest. The place shown on the map may be a specific point or an area. For convenience, the various objectives are labeled with letters. If you want to know what's going on in the vicinity or find out if anyone needs your help, it's best to ask the local innkeeper, who's sure to know all the local gossip. Stealth. In these harsh times, people are aware of anything out of the ordinary. If you step inside someone's house uninvited, for example, they will first warn you and then you have no business there. But if you do anything untoward there, they will immediately call for a guard who would better not get caught at all in sensitive places like the armory or some noble's chambers. If that happens, there will be no warning at all, and the catchpolls will immediately try to place you under arrest. Only sometimes you will need to sneak into such places and observe, or while avoiding conflict. For that you will need a skill of stealth. Skill alone won't make you invisible, though. If you stand out like a sore thumb or rattle like a tinker's wagon, you are bound to get caught. You have to take care that no one sees or hears you. To stay out of sight, it helps to crouch, but that in itself is not enough. Crouching in the middle of the town square in broad daylight is more likely to attract attention than to avoid it. To make yourself less noticeable, you should choose appropriate clothing for the situation. Black clothing at night will make you less visible, but in broad daylight will more likely attract suspicion, and of course you don't want to be heard either. The right footwear will dampen the sound of your footsteps even on a noisy surface, and the less metal elements you have in your attire, the less you will jingle. It's also important to avoid noisy actions, such as breaking a lockpick or setting a dog barking. Your chances of successful stealth can be assessed from the stats visibility, conspicuousness, and noise, which depends on the properties of the individual items of your attire. The lower the value, the better. You will find these in the table beneath the figure of Henry. There is more than one way to skin a cat, of course. If you can get hold of the outfit of a particular faction, you can skip the stealth altogether and walk boldly into places where you would otherwise be very unwelcome. The more items of the other faction's attire you have on you, the more inconspicuous you will be. The most convincing garments are ones that stand out, such as tabard or waffenrock, and helmets that cover your face. Good thing to know here from this tutorial is that I learned that I can dress up like a guard and just work things out. Now I'm just gonna give you this overview of what we have read already. That's quite a bit of information. You can stop the video and read through if you missed anything, and that's it. You can do it yourself. You won't have to go back and search for this specific part. You can just kind of wait for it to show up right now and just kind of stop the video and take a look. Furthermore, I've kind of quit the game the last time, and in the previous video, after the previous video, and it seems that it ended up saved just after the conversation with the father, and that's why we have all these stars here on our so-called unread articles that I'm currently clicking on. And that's the thing. So it's just our distance is not gonna be saved. However, our last interaction is certainly going to be saved just fine. So that's good. No. And we'll try with those. We'll start with those missions out there. Probably the first mission we should start is the sword fighting, where we would have an understanding of sword fighting. They should give us extra things to learn. So what do we have here? Combat defense skill. It looks like there's a star here indicating of something. Final offer, Marathon Man, Stronghold. What should I choose here? I'm not sure. It looks like I'll just have to go back with the same skill here. And that's it, we don't have any more left. We do have a hunger problem, but that's due to the fact that I was learning a lot and I got hungry doing that. In any case, let's run around here, and first of all let's go. You can find all information about the quests in the log J, and for clarity they are also indicated on the map M as well as on the compass at the top of the screen.
I feel quite hungry.
Oh wow. And when the character is hungry, he'll start reminding himself consistently, which is a little bit boring. Okay, so it looks like we just found this shop owner here that sells charcoal. So let's have a chat.
Which king do you mean, Master Tobias? The one sitting in some godforsaken dungeon, or the one who holds the key to the dungeon?
These are strange times, strange and ill-omened. But since I serve our liege lord Saradzik, I think we know what to say.
True. Well,
God be with you.
take the silver. Hardly to cook.
Let us trade. Alright, so I need 10 units of charcoal. No. Charcoal is wood burned in kilns by pyrolysis without influx of air. It is used primarily in forges and smelting works, and to a lesser extent in alchemy for its filtration properties. You have items in your basket. Do you really want to exit the shop? Wait a second. Let's take a look what else does he have. It looks like he's not selling anything but charcoal. And let's check the basket. That's the basket. And how do I buy? Okay, with X, close the deal. Done. Thanks a lot for the charcoal. It looks like we'll be able to move forward.
Let's talk about the price.
Oh no.
Naturally.
Haggling works both ways. Whether you want to buy cheap or sell dear, you select the amount you want to pay or get W and S and confirm with E. The trader will then respond to your offer. If the answer is a refusal, he or she will make a counteroffer. You see, I think I don't have any money whatsoever. And I think I first need to move on and take back the debt. If the slider can be moved in one direction or the other, it means either you or the trader does not have enough money. Dragging out the haggling with one offer after other will gradually try traders' patience, and eventually they'll drop the haggling completely. You can see how close you're getting to that point from the trader icon below the bar. The more gold there is on the background, the closer the trader is to dropping the haggling. Every unsuccessful buyout of haggling lowers your reputation with the trader. Your last offer not accepted by the trader. Your current offer, trader's last offer, original purchase price. So trader can kind of move the price as down as 50%, so that's awesome. Okay, so I don't have money whatsoever. You don't have enough money, as you can see, and that's pretty much it. We can always turn on help, and I'm kind of saying goodbye. In any case, that was nice. Let's move on to this guy right here.
Do you want to learn something?
Yeah,
No.
sure. I want.
Have you recovered from yesterday's great wound?
It was nothing. Except Mother noticed and had a word or two to say about it.
No mother's happy when her son starts to take an interest in swords. Where there's weapons, there's death. The question is, what do you want?
I don't want to rot in this hole forever. I feel like I don't belong here. I want to live and see the world. But the world's a dangerous place and I need to know how to protect myself.
Spoken like a man. And as it happens, today's your last chance. I have to leave. So, are you ready to get stuck in?
Let's go.
Yes?
Alright, I'll wait on the ground by the sheepfold as usual.
Okay, so he's moving on by the sheepfolder, so I'm just gonna run that now. As you may know, if I run for too long, the guy's gonna get too tired too quickly. In any case, we're here now, and we're waiting. As you can see, I don't even have shoes here, unfortunately, but I like the way it is for now. Yeah, I can't kill the sheep. It looks like it's gonna take some time for him to get here, so we can as well walk around a little bit. As you can see, he can jump really far. Whoa, that's down the hill, and that's him losing stamina now, and eventually he's just gonna kind of be just like that. So
can we get started?
We can.
we can.
Good. And since today's the last time we'll be seeing each other, you can show me everything I've taught you so far.
Okay.
Very well. Let's start with the basics. Keep moving. Your life depends on it.
It looks like we've got locked. In combat you're locked on your opponent. You can move around A and D.
Alright. Now try to hit me.
And we can
wait into your attack.
disengage
Just
with
fiddle around,
left
you get
shift.
nowhere. Try slashing from different sides.
Okay.
Unpredictability is the key. Never repeat yourself.
Alright. Slash. Left mouse button. So far so good. He certainly knows how to fight.
Good. The point of the blade is for stabbing. Try it a few times.
Okay. Stab. Weak attack. Weak attacks tend to be faster and more precise at the cost of force. Stabs can be aimed at the face, upper zone, or at the body, any other zone. Okay.
Not bad. Nah.
Boom.
Good. Let's try something else. One strike I can fend off without a sweat. But if you chain your strikes, I'll have a much harder time. As soon as you land one blow, follow it with another.
Alright. You can chain your strikes together, start a new attack as soon as the previous attack ends. You can change the attack zone or just chain the strikes one after another. Try press left mouse or right mouse right after your sword hits your opponent. The window of opportunity is between the strike at the opponent and the end of the swing. Okay. As you can see, the character is becoming